Can you imagine if only 3 people hadn't stepped forward, half of Europe's map might have been wiped off forever? April 26, 1986. It was late at night. In a small town named Pripyat, most people were sleeping. Suddenly, a massive explosion happened. It was Chernobyl Reactor 4. Smoke rose into the sky with an invisible fire spreading death in every direction. The air was filled with radioactive particles. The reactor's core had become a molten hell. What exactly happened that night? What was the sudden explosion? A safety test was underway at Chernobyl Nuclear Power Plant, and the operators had turned off the emergency cooling system for that. This very decision set the stage for disaster. As they carried out the test, an immense heat was building inside the reactor. By the time they realized the danger, it was too late. As they tried to shut it down, a design flaw made the condition even worse. And then, boom! The explosion occurred. In seconds, the reactor building was ripped apart, fire spread, and radiation levels skyrocketed. Breathing the air meant starting the countdown to death. But an even greater danger awaited. Directly beneath the reactor was a massive water tank designed to regulate the plant's temperature. After the explosion, molten corium, a lava-like substance, slowly began to sink toward it. Scientists believe that if the corium had mixed with the water, it could have triggered the largest steam explosion in history. It would have been many times more powerful than the nuclear explosion in Hiroshima. At the same time, the other 3 reactors at Chernobyl would also have been destroyed. Ukraine, Belarus, Lithuania, Latvia, and vast parts of Europe would have become permanent dead zones. Millions of people would have perished, food supply destroyed, and Europe's economy completely shattered. So, why didn't the explosion happen? How did half of Europe survive such a life-threatening disaster? There was only one way to stop it: to open the basement valves to drain the water. But going down there meant almost certain death. Who would dare enter that deadly place? And right then, 3 men stepped forward. They were Alexei Ananenko, Valery Bespalov, and Boris Baranov. Not fairy tale heroes, just ordinary staff working at the plant. Driven by love for humanity, they knew their chances of survival were nearly zero. Putting their wetsuits on, they entered the place with lights. They descended into the basement. Dark, broken, filled with radiation. At one point, even the lights went off. They were surrounded by water, broken pipes, and death. Yet, they pressed on, feeling their way along the walls. Finally, they found the valves which were underwater. They turned them, and water began to drain with a tremendous sound. This successfully stopped the countdown to the world's largest potential explosion. And then, what happened to those heroes? They were exposed to radiation, but it didn't kill them. Baranov died in 2005 of a heart attack. Ananenko and Bespalov are still alive. Imagine if they hadn't gone that day, if they hadn't made that courageous decision, would Europe even exist today? Perhaps maps would bear the words, "Once there was civilization here." The courage of 3 men changed the fate of the entire world. This is the brightest story written in the darkness of Chernobyl. For more stories like this, please visit our website, thewisdomia.com.